Now, let's talk about my classes. These photos were taken before the pandemic. These days, there will be 1 meter distancing between each student, traced together scanning, and masks to be worn at all times. So all the safety precautions in my class these days will be taken. So let's talk about the face-to-face weekend class. Okay, so here F2F stands for face-to-face. I'm going to talk about the online version later on, but for now, my classes consist of 4 face-to-face weekend classes of 4 hours each. Okay, that is 16 hours in total. There's 1 skill, 1 component per class, so listening, reading, writing, and speaking. These are all covered over 4 classes. The class timing will be Saturday 1 to 5 p.m. or Sunday 1 to 5 p.m. Either or, because I teach the same thing, exactly the same component, the same skill on both days, so you just need to take one. And there's flexible schedule and free makeup classes. So what do I mean by flexible schedule? Because every single class I'm going to focus on one particular component, there's no continuation. So for example, you can start any weekend. If you want to start, say, 4th of April, if that's a Saturday, then you can do so. Then it'll be 4th, 11th, 18th, and 25th of April. That will cover all the 4 components, the 4 classes. And you can take either Saturday or Sunday because I teach the same thing on both days. So say, for example, you start on the 4th, and then on the 11th, you cannot make it. You want to make it on the 12th, which is on the Sunday rather than the Saturday, and then that's possible. I will teach the same thing. All you got to do is let me know before. So it's very flexible. And lastly, if you miss one weekend, say, for example, you started on the 4th, and in 11th, you can't make it. 12th, also, you can't make it. That particular class will be made up. You get a free makeup class 4 weeks later. So either the 9th or 10th of May. So be 4th, 11th, 12th, you cannot make it, so you continue with 18th, 25th, and then 9th and 10th of May, which is 4 weeks after 11th and 12th of April. You can take the makeup class on either day, of course, either on the 9th or the 10th of May. So the other thing, as I mentioned, is I'm going to talk about the online version. So some students do not want to come to the class or cannot come to the class, or you're overseas. So there are 2 online versions available. Firstly is a Zoom class, which is basically the teachings will be conveyed through Zoom, and you attend the class through Zoom at the same time, Saturday 1 to 5 or Sunday 1 to 5, rather than attending it live. Or you have the recorded teachings, the recorded versions. That's another option available. So this is possible for students in Singapore who want to stay at home because maybe they're a bit afraid of the COVID situation. You could be in Singapore, but you can't make the timing. Saturday 1 to 5 or Sunday 1 to 5 is not possible. Then you can take the recorded teachings, or it could be in another country. You could either take the live Zoom, which if you can make it on Saturday 1 to 5 or Sunday 1 to 5 Singapore timing, or if you can't make the timing, you can also take the recorded teaching. So 2 options are available, 2 online versions are available, the live Zoom version and the recorded teachings. Exactly the same. You get exactly everything I teach in the live classroom. The only difference is you get it through live Zoom or you get it through the recorded teachings. Now, to continue on, as part of my class, you also get about 250 plus pages of materials that will cover listening, reading, writing, and speaking. This includes, of course, the 50 plus pages of essay templates and appendices. This is what has helped many of my students pass their writing, all right? And in addition to all these pages, 250 plus pages of materials, you will get 20 plus hours of additional teaching videos. This covers the listening, reading, writing, speaking, additional teaching videos. That means beyond what you get in class, all right? And it also covers grammar and vocabulary for writing and speaking. So these are additional teachings on videos that you should go through, right? This is what one student said. I love both the classes and the videos, as the videos applied what was taught in class, and I can go through it over and over again at my own timing. So you will be able to get not just the classes, but in addition to that, you will get additional teachings which will apply everything I've taught, further teach you on that particular component. I want to especially focus on this, which is the grammar and vocabulary for writing and speaking. Grammar and vocabulary for writing and speaking is very important, especially grammar, right? So for example, if you want to get a 7.0, most students are targeting 7.0. Say for writing task 2, you need to get 7, 7, 7, and also 7 for your grammar. right? But many students don't get 7. Why? Because the band 7 for grammatical range and accuracy requires that you produce frequent error-free sentences. What this means is that you cannot make too many grammatical mistakes. Now, if you do, the examiner may give you a 6 instead of a 7, and that's going to pull down your score to 6.5. And that's why many students do not get their 7. Now, so grammar is important to both writing and speaking. Okay, you need to minimize the number of grammatical mistakes you make. All right, so this is a class which is very important, which is, I give it through the video, additional video teachings, a very, very, very good class. I would say you're going to learn a lot. Many students will realize how many grammatical mistakes they make once going through the class. So just now I showed you the 50 plus pages of essay templates and appendices, which is part of my class materials. This is probably the most unique part of my class. Writing components is probably the most difficult component, and these templates that I've been coming up with and refining and making it better for the past 10 years. And this is really what sets some of my writing classes apart from every other writing class that you encounter, because of these templates, because of the very detailed nature of these templates that will help you to write and do well in every essay question that you will encounter. Templates are basically just like you see on the left. It gives you the structure of the essay for each type of essay question, and it gives you words and phrases you can use, and all you got to do is to fill in the blanks. Now, there will be blanks. You will have a lot of blanks to fill in. You have a lot of phrases and words that you can already use, but there will still be parts of the essay that you have to fill in, no doubt. This is not about memorizing a whole essay. And also part of the class, you will get some topic-specific vocabulary for various topics that you will encounter in the IELTS writing. But the point is this: even though you will get a topic-specific vocabulary, even though you get the templates, you still need to write well, okay? You still need to fill in the blanks, and there is where the grammar and vocabulary class comes into play. You need to make sure that whatever you've written in the blanks, you still need to write it well, because if you make too many grammatical mistakes, then obviously you will still not do well. Now, you'll definitely do better than you could have without the templates, but that doesn't mean that you will do as well as you can if your grammar and vocabulary is not so good. So my class is based on a balance between hard work and smart work. When I talk about smart work, I'm talking about using the writing templates. Okay, that's a smart way of working. That's a smart way of preparing beforehand, memorizing different templates for different essay types, and using the words and phrases already, memorizing those words and phrases. But then there will still be blanks, and that's where you need to improve your grammar and vocabulary. And there is where the grammar and vocabulary class comes into play, because it is very important for every student to work on your grammar and vocabulary so that you can even improve and do better. With the templates, you will even do better if your grammar and vocabulary is better. So the grammar and vocabulary class is probably the most challenging class. Definitely very challenging, and that's the reason why I've got it in video, so that students can go and replay it over and over again. It's a teaching I'm probably most proud of, along with the essay templates. These two areas are, the templates have helped students a lot, and the grammar and vocabulary teachings have also helped students to improve their grammar and vocabulary. And this is by far the most rewarding long term for my students. This is because even though you're preparing for the IELTS exam, your grammar and vocabulary is needed not just for the exam, but for future. Whether you are going to Australia or Canada or the UK, whether you are working in a company or you're taking your university studies there, you will need good grammar and vocabulary. So this is something, improving your grammar and vocabulary is something that you'll carry with you for the rest of your life, way beyond your IELTS exam. I have students messaging me years after coming to my class and saying, thank you for your class. I'm still going through the videos. I'm still going through the homework. I'm learning a lot. This has helped me in my workplace, or this has helped me in my university when I need to write essays, because grammar and vocabulary is, after all, very important, very foundational to your English. Now, let me continue on, because that's not all. You also have 20 plus hours of homework. All right. Now, this is beyond this 20 plus hours of additional teaching. Beyond all this is 20 plus hours of homework that you should be doing. This really, as I say, excludes the 20 hours above. So This is an addition. Every week, I'll give you about at least 5 hours of homework. These are the pieces of homework that I give you, a lot, okay? But let me tell you this, it can even go up to 100 hours, all right? The amount of homework really depends on you. You should be putting in at least 20 hours of homework, but if you really want to work hard, if you really want to improve, there's material for 100 hours or so. So that's up to you. You guys are adults, but if you really go through everything here, if you really do your homework, go through the additional teaching video, study the 250 plus pages of materials, you are going to see improvement definitely. I want to dispel a widely held myth. Okay, this myth is that I just need to attend classes and then after that I can take the exam and pass. That's why many students ask me, can I take the exam after your classes? Well, as I already showed you, if you've been paying attention, you can't just come to my IELTS classes. The classes are not enough. That's why you have the additional video teachings. That's why you have the homework. That's why you have the 250 plus pages of materials and notes and templates, etc. Okay? Because you can't just rely on the classes. Many students think they just need to come to class. Okay? Because the truth is that people love to attend classes. Why? Because they just go to class and you don't do much, right? You're there, you discipline yourself, you attend there. Being in class for 2 hours, 4 hours, whatever maybe, is easier than you telling yourself, hey, the next 2 hours at home, 4 hours at home, I need to do my homework. That requires discipline. You go to class, you know you're in the class, you just listen to what the teacher tells you to do, and you know that you're going to do your work. But at home, it requires discipline from you to say, okay, I'm going to set aside the time. So many students hate to do their homework, right? Because it requires a lot of your time and discipline. But guess what? It is important. All 400 plus students of mine who passed their IELTS exam, after coming to my classes, took only 4 classes at most. Some took 2 classes. But they only took 4 classes. They didn't take 8, 10, 20, 30. They didn't study in my classes for months. They don't need to. Firstly, they're probably not willing to pay so much. And they don't need to. What they did is they attended my classes, and then they went through the 250 plus pages of notes by themselves. They went through the 20 hours of videos. They went through 20 to 100 hours of homework. Right? So that's basically what they did. That's why they did well for the exam. That's why they passed. Right? You have to put in the effort beyond the classes. So many students ask, are 4 classes enough? Nope. 4 classes plus doing everything I've taught you. That's going to help you to improve and be in the best possible position for you to pass the IELTS exam. So before I tell you the cost of the class, let me ask you, what's an IELTS pass worth to you? Every few days I get a message like this from someone inquiring about my classes, and many of them will tell me how many times they failed. So for example, this person, he messaged me, he said he failed 3 times. This person said he or she has failed 5 times. This person has failed 1 time. This person failed 5 times. This person failed twice. So this is something that is very common. Many people will message me, asking me about my classes, telling me how many times they failed, and asking me if I can help them, so on and so forth. This particular person, I think he's from overseas, he said he took the exam 20 times, more than 20 times, and his overall score was 5.5 and he needs 7.0. Now, if you're at 5.5 and you need 7.0 and you've taken it 20 times, it means there's something definitely wrong, right? You shouldn't be taking it 20 times. You understand the reason why students are like this. They take it many times and they don't improve because they're using wrong methods to improve, right? But this is something that's very common. Students fail and then they just try. They just try, see the next time if it's going to work. Then they fail again and again and again and again. And it's a waste of money. So you really shouldn't be doing that. These are some of my own students who came to my classes. So this student took the exam 15 times or so, 14 or 15 times before coming to my class, and he struggled with getting 7.0 for his writing, and eventually he got 7.0 after coming to my classes. So he spent 5,000 Singapore dollars before passing. Winston also failed 8 times for his writing, spent $3,000, eventually came to my class, used my writing strategies, my templates, and eventually got his IELTS 8.0. And Joyce failed 8 times, eventually passed, spent $3,000, of course, with all the failures. And Booma, the same thing, took the exam about 7 to 8 times before coming to my classes, eventually passed after coming to my class. These are all people who failed their writing and came to my class just for writing and eventually passed their writing, but spent many thousands of dollars before coming to the class. So what is the cost of my classes? The cost is 600 Singapore dollars, right? That's the cost for everything that you see here, whether it's the face-to-face class or the Zoom or the recorded teachings. This is what you pay. You have to pay to get everything that's included here. This is about 16 hours of class, face-to-face or Zoom recordings or recorded videos, plus 20 hours of additional teaching videos. That's about 36 hours of teaching in total. So 600 Singapore dollars divided by 36 hours, that's about 16.50 per hour if you're calculating per hour. So this is a student we saw just now who failed 15 times. This is what he said. He said, over the past 2 years, I've sat for the IELTS exam at least 15 times. I attended at least 3 IELTS workshops and classes. Jonathan's class is the cheapest I found in the market and the best I had experienced. Eventually, he passed after 15 times after coming to my class and using my templates. And this student is from Korea. She came to my class in Singapore, and this is what she said. She said, I wasted so much time and money in other schools and tuition. I had tuition. This is private tuition 1-to-1 with whatever tutor. She also went to various schools. Okay, I'm not going to list the school's name here. All useless. You went straight to the point, practical and skillful, but they just wasted my time because they had no techniques. Thank you so much for your real IELTS class. So what you're going to get is you're going to get real strategies, real practical strategies to be able to pass, to be able to do well. Well, there's no guarantee of passing, of course. I can't guarantee that you will pass after coming to my class. What I can do is only show you all the testimonials of students who have actually passed after coming to my class. 400 plus student testimonials. I think it's 430 by now. You can go to this website, this link, /testimonials. You can read all the 430 plus testimonials written here of how they passed, of what they got and how they found my classes. You can also go to this particular link /writing-improvement. This is something I'm proud of because, of course, many students come to my writing class either separately, alone, because writing is the most difficult component. So many students actually fail their writing, as you saw just now, and they just want to take my writing classes, and it's really helped them a lot. These are students who have failed their writing before, came to my class and improved by 0.5 up to 2.0 after attending my class. Now, you're not going to improve by 2.0. Not many people are going to improve by 2.0 after attending my writing class, but even an improvement of 0.5, that is something that can be quite difficult to do. As you saw just now for Mwandi, he failed his IELTS writing 15 times because he got 6.5 all the time. And after coming to my classes, applying my templates, using my templates, going through the vocabulary and grammar class, improving his grammar and vocabulary, eventually he got 7.0. And that's just an improvement of 0.5. He needed 15 times before attending my class. And after attending my class, he was able to improve by 0.5. So writing can be a huge problem for many students, and that's why I'm proud to have these students really improve by between 0.5 and 2.0 after attending my class. So let me just go through again what you're going to get for 600 Singapore dollars. Firstly, you get 4 face-to-face weekend classes of 4 hours per class. That's 16 hours in total. Each class, each of the 4 will cover one of the 4 skills: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. You either take the 1 to 5 p.m. on a Saturday or 1 to 5 p.m. on a Sunday. You have a flexible schedule. You can start anytime. You can make up the classes, and it's available face-to-face, or you can also choose the Zoom version, the live Zoom version, or the recording teachings. Whether you're in Singapore, whether you're overseas, it's all available for you. And you will get, in addition to all of this, 250 plus pages of materials, 20 plus hours of additional teaching videos, including the grammar and the vocabulary, and 20 plus hours of homework, encompassing listening, reading, writing, and speaking. And really, you can really go up to 100 hours. I recommend that students really spend up to 100 hours doing your homework, because if you really want to improve, if you really want to do well, you should really be doing all your homework in addition to coming to classes, in addition to going through the 20 plus hours of additional teaching videos. So that in total is 600 Singapore dollars. And if you're interested, you can WhatsApp me at +65 9768 1054. So let's talk about some frequently asked questions. These are 12 questions I've compiled over the years. The first one is, why do so many people fail IELTS? Okay, why do so many people fail the IELTS exam? Very good question, because many people do fail. An estimated 60 to 80% of students fail their IELTS exam on their first try. That's true. All right, if you ask your friends, many of them will tell you that they've failed at least once or more. Just now I showed you some of these people who message me every few days. These are not my students, but they message me. They mention to me how many times they failed, and they ask whether I can help them. And this happens very often. This was a student of mine. He failed his exam, his writing, 15 times before coming to my classes, and then after he came to my class, he passed his writing finally. Now, why do people fail over and over again? Okay, one of the reasons is that people are not ready, and they are not aware of the fact that they are not ready. This is what you call the Dunning-Kruger effect. If you are interested in psychology, the Dunning-Kruger effect is a type of cognitive bias in which people believe that they are smarter and more capable than they really are. Essentially, low ability people do not possess the skills needed to recognize their own incompetence. The combination of poor self-awareness and low cognitive ability leads them to overestimate their own capabilities. So basically, many students are not aware, many people are not aware that they're not ready. They're not ready, and they're not aware of that. They think that they are ready. They think their language is good. They think their English is good. They think that they can pass their IELTS exam. They take their IELTS exam and they fail. So this is a graph. This is the Dunning-Kruger effect graph. Basically, as you see, well, you start with very low competence level, but the moment you just increase in your competence, your ability a bit, your confidence skyrockets. But that's actually, you think you know everything. You think you're good. But does not represent the amount of competence you have, because your competence level, your ability is so low, right? Then the more competent you are, the more skilled you are, then you start to realize, okay, I actually may not know so many things after all. So this is the Dunning-Kruger effect. The effect that many people who have low cognitive ability and low and poor self-awareness, they think that they're actually very good when they're not actually so. And I've realized this a lot in IELTS students. Okay, just because they think they've spoken English for a long time, they think, the IELTS exam's easy, right? So they underestimate the difficulty of the IELTS exam because of the Dunning-Kruger effect. They are overconfident of their own abilities. They have lots of blind spots and they don't recognize that. And as a result, they don't put enough effort and time to prepare and improve. And also, they don't use the time correctly. They don't use this time that they put into improving or into preparing correctly. They don't use it wisely. They don't use it effectively. That's because they do mostly mock or practice tests, which doesn't help them improve. Now, this comes to my second, what I think is the second reason why students fail the IELTS exam over and over again. Okay, and this second reason is that most prepare wrongly. This is a poll I conducted. I used to conduct this in my Zoom classes, free classes available to all. So I will ask them, how do you actually prepare for your IELTS exam? And as you can see, 70 to 80% of students will always say, well, I do practice mock tests. That is how I prepare. And that's how you prepare wrongly. This is not the right way of preparing, right? Taking IELTS practice tests or mock tests, many people think will prepare me for the IELTS exam. So what students will do is this. They take the IELTS practice mock test under exam conditions. Under exam conditions meaning under the conditions that you will encounter in the actual exam. Then they check the practice mock test answers. See how many they got. Then they repeat the process over and over again. Do another mock test, check the answers. Do another mock test, check the answers. Go through all the different Cambridge practice test, mock tests, papers under exam conditions. And this is the expectation. They think that, the greater the number of IELTS tests, IELTS practice tests completed, the higher the IELTS score will be. But this is the reality. You don't actually improve a lot. Okay, the more practice mock tests you do. Why is this so? Well, let's take a look at this first. Let's ask ourselves, taking practice mock tests, will it prepare you for the IELTS exam? Well, taking practice mock tests will prepare you for what to expect in the exam. Expect what format? What's the format like? What's the timing like? How is it like to be put under time pressure? For your reading, you got 1 hour. For your writing, you got 1 hour to perform 2 tasks, so on and so forth. So it will prepare you for what to expect. You need to prepare a bit. You need to do at least a few mock tests at home so that you know what to expect in the exam, right? So that's fine. It helps you to prepare yourself for what to expect in the exam. And it also tells you your level, okay? Of course, you take a mock test, you check the answers, you know your level, your reading score, your listening score. Although I want to say deduct 0.5. Whatever score you think you got for reading and listening, whatever answers you get, and they tell you, oh, this is at a 6.5 level, this is at a 7.5 level, deduct 0.5, okay, if you really want to know your level. Why? Many students ask me, how come I got 7.0 for listening and reading when taking an IELTS practice test at home, but in the actual exam I got 6.5 for both listening and reading? Well, there are certain reasons for that. Number one, in the exam you're facing stress and pressure. In the actual exam, you don't face that at home, right? So you're more relaxed and therefore you probably perform better. Number two, obviously your level's never going to be the same. You have different topics, questions, so you can't expect the performance to be exactly the same as your performance at home. Okay, in the exam you may have a different topic or question altogether that you did not encounter at home. And number three, the scoring table shows only approximate scores. This is something that you need to know. Just because the general scoring table say if you get about 30 to 32, you get about 7.0, and this is for the reading scoring table. That doesn't mean if you get at home 30, for example, you will always get 7.0 for your listening in the actual exam. No, because if you realize this, you read this IELTS paper, Ensuring Quality and Fairness in International Language Testing, they actually tell you that the table indicates the average number of marks. And obviously there's always going to be differences in level between different tests. And so you have to realize if the test you're given at home, for example, you take is easier, then a higher score will be required. If it's more difficult, a lower score may be required to get the same band score. So maybe at home you took a very, very, very easy test, and therefore you think you got 30 and you deserve a 7, for example. But that may be an easy test and maybe you require 31 or 32 to get a 7, right? So you don't actually know, you can't actually judge 100% just from practice tests. So what I'm trying to say is that practice tests, once you look at the listening and the reading scores, it can tell you your level, but just to be safe, deduct 0.5, all right? But the question is not that. The question is, will taking practice mock tests and doing it over and over again, will it prepare you to get your target score? Will it help you to improve? Will it help you to get better and better and better? Let's see what the definition of a test is. Longman Dictionary says that a test is a set of question exercises and practical activities to measure someone's skill and ability and knowledge. So it's about measuring, not about improving. Those of you who take tests to improve, that's not going to happen. When you sit for a test, there's a time limit. There's no outside materials that you're allowed to use, right, in the test. So when you take it at home, you also have your time limit. According to exam conditions, you don't use outside materials. And if it's just you and your test materials without anything or anyone to help you improve, how are you going to improve? A test is not meant to help you improve. A test is meant to test just your level. So by taking mock tests over and over again, you're not going to improve. Just imagine these glasses, they're like your mind. You need, in order to improve in your IELTS score, your language score, you need to add things to it. You need to improve your skills. You need to improve your grammar, your vocabulary, your cohesion, strategies, etc. So that is what is going to help you to improve, right? So for listening, you need to be able to grasp connected speech. You need to have good grasp of vocabulary. Skimming and scanning skills and vocabulary. For reading, writing, you need good vocabulary. Grammar, productive vocabulary. Grammar, cohesion. Speaking also, productive vocabulary, grammar, fluency, so on and so forth. The question is this: when you do practice and mock tests over and over again, do these automatically improve? The answer is no, it doesn't improve. So if you do mock tests over and over again, you're not improving. You're being more familiar with the format, that's all. Because a mock test is under, if you take a mock test under exam conditions, there's a time limit, there are no outside materials allowed, you don't improve. That's why you have people like this failing over and over again. Why? Because they take a test, they fail. What do? If the student takes the exam and fail, the next thing they do is, more practice tests. They don't improve. They don't add things to their mind. They just take more practice tests thinking that they'll improve. So the student takes the exam again, fails again. What do? More practice tests. More practice tests, I'll get better. I'll pass the next time. So they take the exam again and they fail again. And the cycle, this vicious cycle repeats itself. Why? Because they've been using the wrong method to improve. Using mock tests, doing mock tests over and over again, does not help you to improve your listening, reading, or writing, or speaking skills. Okay? So Jonathan, you're saying that taking IELTS practice mock tests over and over again doesn't help you to improve your IELTS score? Then how exactly can a student improve his or her IELTS level? As I mentioned already, it is through all this. You need to improve in various areas, and that's what I teach in the class. Use the strategies, improve in your vocabulary, improve in your various skills, so on and so forth. So this is the second reason why students fail the IELTS exam over and over again. The third reason is that they focus only on one or two components. For example, you may think that you need help in writing as you think you're good in the rest. I'm good in listening, reading, and speaking. I just need help in writing. So you just focus on writing, or you attend my writing classes only, and you may pass your writing, but you don't pass the rest of the components. Guess what? You need to take the whole exam again. So please focus on all components. Yes, writing may be a component which is very difficult and challenging, and you need to work harder maybe on that component, but focus on all components. Don't just neglect any, because you may pass the component you improved in, but then you may fail the component that you were complacent in, right? So, as I said, why do people fail the IELTS exam over and over again? As I mentioned, let me just recap. Number one, people are not ready, and they are not aware of this fact. They're not ready, the Dunning-Kruger effect. Number two, most people prepare wrongly. They use mock tests, they use practice tests, and they do it over and over again thinking that they'll improve, but they're not improving at all. Number three, you only focus on one or two components. So please make sure you focus on all the components when you prepare for your IELTS exam. Let's go to number two. Can I take the IELTS exam without IELTS classes? Okay, can I take the IELTS exam without first attending IELTS classes? Yes, you can. You can do whatever you want. You can take the exam immediately without attending IELTS classes. That's not the right question. The right question you should ask yourself is, should I take the IELTS exam without first preparing properly? As I showed you already, 60 to 80% of students fail the IELTS exam on their first try. All right, it's a waste of money. Okay, each exam costs $365 or $270 approximately, and that's the reason why you have so many people failing. Why? Because they took it lightly, they just try and without any preparation, and then even after they prepare wrongly. Why? Because they do mock tests over and over again. They use the wrong method to prepare. That's not how to really prepare, how to really improve. All right, so they fail over and over again. So all these students wasted between 365 Singapore dollars and 2,000 Singapore dollars. This is very common, okay, just on your exam fee. So don't take it lightly. If you have money to spare, then go and take your exam first without preparing properly. But if you don't have money to spare, then don't just anyhow take the exam without making sure you know that you're ready to pass, right? So prepare properly first, then take the IELTS exam when you're ready. And if you are ready when you take the IELTS exam, then you'll pass. But make sure you prepare properly first. Number three, what's so unique about Jonathan's IELTS classes, right? What's so unique about my IELTS classes? I want to talk about four things, okay? So firstly, my classes are not focused on mock tests, but on tips and strategies. Secondly, it's based on hard work and smart work. Thirdly, there's proven results. That's what makes it unique. And number four, you can contact me even after class ends, right? Number one, my IELTS class does not focus on doing IELTS practice tests over and over again. Rather, it focuses on tips and strategies to use to do well in the exam and to help you improve before the exam. Very important to help you to improve before the exam, not just tips and strategies to help you do well in the exam. Right? So I mentioned already, I don't focus on doing mock tests in my classes. You do it at home, and you use a special strategy I teach my students to do mock tests, but to also improve at the same time. All right, it's a special strategy that I tell my students. I don't focus on mock tests because that's not going to help you improve. Right? Many schools and classes may focus on mock tests because many students want to have mock tests. That's because they don't know better. Right? So, like this student said, your strategies really work. The previous IELTS class I attended focused on doing practice tests, and it was a waste of time. And you're right, I didn't improve at all. So you need strategies, you need good teachings to really improve. All right, mock tests can be done at home. Don't waste your time going to class doing mock tests. Number two, my IELTS class is based on a balance between hard work and smart work. What do you mean by hard work and smart work? I mentioned that a bit just now. Now, I love to study history. I love to study current affairs, and basically, if you understand history of ideas, it always goes from one extreme to another. Some people believe this, they believe this idea to the extreme, and then people react against it, and they go the opposite extreme. And it's really a balance that you need. You don't want to be reactionary. You don't want to react and overreact. You want to respond to the situation in a balanced way. Now, when it comes to IELTS preparation and improving test score, some people may say, oh, the teacher can only guide the student, so the student must work very hard and be solely responsible for his improvement. On the other hand, the opposite side is that some people believe the teacher will give the student tricks and strategies to use so the student can pass easily. 1, student, you have to work hard. 2, this opposite perspective, the teacher can give you tricks and strategies, you don't have to work hard. You just have to work smart. So an example of hard work is that many textbooks, this is taken from many popular textbooks, they tell you this, all right? They just tell you this. This is what you do for introduction, this is what you do for your body, this is what you do for your conclusion paragraph for your IELTS essay. They don't give you much clue. You just have to apply everything yourself. They don't want to help you too much because they don't want to spoon feed you. On the other hand, in the opposite extreme, some people may say, oh, look, just memorize the essay. I've written the perfect essay for you. Go memorize it. So easy. Just memorize it and just write it out in the exam. Now, obviously, that's not going to be so easy because you never know what exam question is going to come up and nobody knows. If anybody tells you they know this essay question is going to come up, run away from them. They're not telling you the truth. By the time you pay them all the money and you take the exam, you know that you've wasted your money, right? So that's it, opposite extreme, saying, oh, memorize the essay. You don't have to work so hard. Just memorize the essay. Now, reality is that both are wrong, all right? You can't just rely only on hard work or smart work, right? My class is based on a balance between hard work and smart work. What do I mean, right? I believe in hard work. Students have to work hard, no doubt. I'm not telling you to be lazy. You have to work hard, but I'm going to give you strategies. I'm going to give you templates that will make sure that you are working smart too, right? So whereas textbooks give you all this so generalized, doesn't really help students at all, I give you templates. I really help you. Now, this is not me telling you to memorize an essay, because obviously memorizing an essay is not going to work because you don't know what essay question is going to come up. So this is telling you, look, let's prepare in a smart way before. Let's memorize some phrases. You still have to fill in the blanks with your own words and your own ideas and so on and so forth. But a lot of it can be, prepared beforehand. And I give you the structure. I'm not just giving you some general ideas that you have to apply by yourself. I'm doing part of the work for you so that you're working smart, but I'm not doing all the work. You still have to work hard. You still have to write sentences in. That's what my IELTS templates are about. Okay, that's why students have benefited. So many students have passed after coming to my classes because they use the templates, they understand the structure, the organization, they understand words they can use, how to improve their vocabulary, cohesion, grammar, complexity, so on and so forth. Right? Not only do I give you the IELTS templates, I'll also give you, for example, the introduction paragraph template. So when the textbook tells you, oh, how do you write your introduction paragraph? Well, there are a number of ways to do this. You clarify the question, you paraphrase the question in your own words. Well, I go one step further. I give you structures where you can use to paraphrase the question. All right? That is working smart and working hard. So you will get in my classes the templates, you'll get topic-specific vocabulary, but of course, the hard work comes in when you still have to write and take these pieces of vocabulary and write sentences. There's no way you can work around that, but a lot of it has been done for you already. So this is a balance between hard and smart work. Number 3, my IELTS class has proven results, and this is where you can actually go to this website, this link with the testimonials, go and read 400 plus students who have passed IELTS after attending my classes, or people who have passed their writing after failing it before attending my class and finally passing their writing, improving between 0.5 and 2.0 after attending my classes. So I think the best reflection of my teaching, if you want to know, is just going to read what students have said and how students have passed. Now, this doesn't guarantee that you're going to pass, okay? Definitely there's not guarantee. There's no guarantee because many students don't pass. I will tell you upfront right now. Many students do not pass after attending my class. Why? Because they don't put in the effort. Yes, they take the smart work, which I provided for them, the templates and all that, but they don't add it and they don't combine it with their own hard work. They don't do their homework. They don't go through the 20 hours plus of video teachings. They don't. They do the minimum amount of homework. They don't improve. So not everybody is going to pass, right? And there's no guarantees from me. Anybody who guarantees that attending the class is going to help you to pass the exam, guaranteed, again, stay away from them. They're not telling you the truth. Number 4, every student has my WhatsApp number, and you can contact me even after the classes end, right? So I don't think many schools and classes and teachers will give you their number. Okay, let's go to the next question. Are 4 classes enough to pass IELTS? Are 4 classes enough to pass the IELTS exam? Very common question. Students ask me because when they realize that, oh, you only have 4 classes, is that enough? No, I've never said it's enough, because even though I said, yes, there are 4 classes here, 1 for each skill. You can either take it face-to-face or online, the Zoom, live Zoom or recorded teachings, right? Even though there are 4 classes, I've always said you have to go beyond the 4 classes. You have to study the 250 plus pages of materials. You have to go through the 20 plus hours of additional teaching videos. You have to do between 20 and 100 hours of homework. Then you'll be prepared. And I'm not going to say that you're definitely going to pass, but you're definitely going to have a higher chance of passing. But again, all this, like I said before, students love to attend classes. They don't like to do their homework. You have to do your homework if you really, really want to improve. So all 400 students who passed the IELTS exam after coming to my classes took only 4 classes at most, as I mentioned. But what did they do? They went through the 250 plus pages of notes, the 20 hours of additional video teachings, and put in between 20 and 100 hours of homework. All right, so this is what normally happens. Students come to class, whether it is the face-to-face class or the Zoom, the live Zoom or the recorded teachings, etc. Maybe they come to class in May. They take 4 weeks, 16 hours of classes, do their homework. Most of the time, they are not going to be ready after they finish the 4 classes because they have not done their homework. Okay, I mean, they're all working adults. So even during March, for example, they take my classes in March, they're not going to have the time to do all their homework. So over the next few months, that's what normally happens. Over the next few months, what do? They'll go through all the homework materials. I mean, they may do some in March, but they'll go through even more and more. And when you start coming to my classes, I'm going to be very straightforward. I do not tell you it is easy to pass the exam. So after they come to my class, they realize, oh, the exam's quite difficult. I'm not going to book the exam so soon, right? So they spend a few months just going through my materials, improving their English, and then they take the exam. All right, so that's what normally happens. I don't recommend that you take the exam immediately after the class. Most likely, you're not going to be ready, right? So is 4 classes enough? No. You have to use the additional materials I give you in order to improve. Number 5, can I repeat your class for free if I fail the exam? Okay, can you repeat the class for free if you fail the exam? The answer is, firstly, you shouldn't fail if you prepare properly and take the exam only when ready. You're only going to fail if you take the exam before you're ready. Most people who fail the exam do so because they're not ready to get the desired score. That's why 60 to 80% fail on their first try. And they also prepare wrongly. They don't do the homework if they come to my class, or if they don't come to my class, they prepare wrongly because they don't know how to prepare correctly. So they use mock tests to prepare, but that doesn't help them to improve. I already mentioned that. And so they don't do well, they fail. Don't do that. If you come to my class, do your homework. I'm always going to tell you, over-prepare rather than under-prepare. That's what you should be doing, right? So if you come to my class and you take the exam, you fail, it's probably because you've just been in a rush to take your exam. You have not really done the homework, okay? So to answer the question, can you repeat your class for free if you fail? You can take the same classes at half the price, but I do not recommend that. I recommend you focus on what you're paid for, all the notes, the videos, the homework. Do that. Again, I tell you, students love to come to class. Again, they love to come to classes. Why? Because they're lazy. They don't have the discipline to do this. So don't come to class. Firstly, in the first place, don't fail, because you shouldn't be taking an exam until you're ready. And secondly, you don't have to come to additional classes. You just have to do what's given to you. The homework, the videos, the notes. Number 6, can you guarantee that I'll pass the exam? I think I've already mentioned an answer to this. So to the question, can you guarantee that I will pass the exam? No guarantee, sorry. No teacher or school can guarantee that you'll pass after attending their classes. Like I said, if anyone does so, run. They're not telling the truth. You should be smart enough to know this by now. Okay. Many people, I don't think many people are making false promises, but if you do come across anybody who's promising you falsely that they're gonna guarantee that you pass the exam, that's not gonna happen. Right? There's no guarantees. You need to put in the hard work. I can't promise that you get any particular score. I've never guaranteed that you get any particular score. I can only show you the experiences of my students, and then you can decide if you want to take the classes. Okay. So as I mentioned to you already, these links, go to these links /testimonials /writing improvement. Read it, make a decision for yourself. But remember, these students, most of them did not just attend the 4 classes, but did a lot of the homework, the additional video teachings, and studied my notes, probably weeks or months even after coming to my class before taking the exam. Number 7, should I register for my IELTS exam before or after attending your IELTS class? Should I register for my IELTS exam before or after attending your IELTS class? So, very simple. Register for the IELTS only when you're ready. The thing is that you can't change your date after you register for the exam, right? You can't change your date. So you probably have to pay a bit extra to change. It's a waste of money, right? So come to the IELTS class first, and then when you're ready, book the exam. When you come to my class, you realize how difficult the exam is and how much time you need to continue to study after the class before you book your exam. Okay, you need to do all this, right? So this is what some students may think. They may think, this is my first time taking an exam. I'm going to give myself 3 months to study and I should be ready by then. So they book the exam in 3 months even before coming to my class. Well, they get a shock when they come to my class to realize how difficult the exam is, right? And then they can't really postpone the exam most likely, okay? Or some students will say, I already failed once. I'm going to try again in a month's time. I should be ready by then to get my desired score. So I go to Jonathan's class. At the end of the month, at the end of the 4 classes, I'm ready. Nope, I told you, that's not the way to do things. Or some students say, I'm busy at work now. I'll be free to prepare next month. So let me book the exam in the month after, in 2 months' time. I should be ready by then. Now, all these ideas are based on the fact that the exam is quite simple and I will give myself 1 or 2 or 3 months and it should do. That's the reason why 60 to 80% of students fail. Why? Because of this. They're putting the cart before the horse. Okay? They're putting the cart before the horse. This is an idiom, which means they're doing things in the wrong or reverse order. Okay? You're setting the date of the exam before knowing that you're ready. Before knowing when you're going to be ready. What you should be doing is this. Focus on IELTS preparation first. Come to classes. When you're ready, book the exam. Okay? So simple, right? But you may say, Jonathan, I'm setting a goal. I'm setting a goal to take the exam in 1 or 2 or 3 months' time. That's my goal. Of course, I know I'm not ready yet, but I'm going to make sure that I'll be ready in 1 to 2 to 3 months' time. I'm going to change my life and study hard and do all I can now, from now, to be ready by then. That's a nice goal. That's a nice plan. But what's reality? Life gets in the way. Why do you think so many people set goals but never achieve them? Okay, those who are disciplined and enough to achieve their goals are few and far between. Another idiom, by the way. All right? Not many people can actually achieve their goals. So by you setting goals, that's great. But guess what? If you are like most people and fail to achieve their goal, then you're going to waste your money, because once you book your exam, you cannot change it. So you have to take the exam when you book it, and you fail and you waste your money. Okay. The second thing is that when you come, the reality is you start to realize how difficult the exam is. That you underestimated the difficulty of the exam when you set your exam date. So the result is that you already booked the exam. You can't postpone the date. You take the exam and fail. You waste your money. Okay. So please do not put the cart before the horse. Please put the horse before the cart. So focus on IELTS preparation first. When you're ready, book the exam. Sounds stupidly simple, right? Sounds totally logical. But this advice is consistently ignored by most test takers. 8. My English is very poor, so I want to study by myself first, then take your class. Is this a good plan? Something that I hear very, very often too. All right. My English is very poor, so I want to study by myself first, and then take your exam after that. Is this a good plan? What I would recommend, take the classes first, then self-study. I know students like to self-study before they attend my class. Now that's pretty stupid, okay? You come to my class, then you will know how to use my materials and my strategies to study. Because as I mentioned to you, most students will probably want to spend the next few months after even the class going through the notes, the videos, the homework. So most people who self-study before taking my classes are using the time wrongly and wasting their precious time. They always do mock tests over and over again. They don't know how to really use their time wisely. So if you don't spend your time wisely, you're actually wasting it. So make sure you use your time effectively and with purpose. After my classes, you know how to use your time effectively. You know what to do. You have the templates to memorize, to use, to help you. You have the strategies that I teach you. You know how to use the method I teach in class to be able to use a mock test in order not just to test yourself, but also to improve. All right, all these things I teach in class. So come to class first, then spend the next few months self-studying based on how I teach you, it's going to be much more effective. 9, when's the best time to start your classes? Now or in a few months' time? Okay, when's the best time to start your classes? Now or in a few months' time? There's a Chinese proverb that says the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Okay, so in my response, the best time to start your IELTS preparation was last week. The second best time is now or this coming week, and as soon as you can. Why? Okay, why do people start their preparation so late? Number one, they underestimate the difficulty of the exam. Right? They think that, again, the Dunning-Kruger effect, as I mentioned just now, they think that they're actually better than they are. Right? So people tend to think that they're better than they actually are, and therefore they start very late. Then they start late, they actually don't get to improve, they fail their exam. Number 2, all right, life gets in the way, as I said. Okay, we always have our goals, but the truth is that life gets in the way, and therefore you need to do this, you need to do that. By the time you actually get down to preparing, you are already, wasted a lot of time and it's too late. The third reason, very important reason why students start their preparation too late, is their desire for a short time gap. They may say, I want to take the IELTS exam immediately after the preparation classes. They think, I will forget what I've learned if there's too big a time gap. If there's months after the exam is months after the class, then I may forget. That's actually the wrong way of thinking about it, especially if you've listened so far. Okay, now this is what very often happens. Maybe a student, maybe now it's March, right? They aim to take the IELTS exam in December. So what do? They say to themselves, I don't want too much time gap, so I'm going to start my IELTS class such that it finishes a few weeks before my exam, so there's a small time gap. That way, I won't forget anything I've learned. So I'm going to, even though now is March, guess what I'm doing? I'm not going to do anything, or I'm going to prepare by myself. Again, you self-study and prepare by yourself, but you don't really use your time effectively. If you don't know how to use it, you're just pretty much wasting your time. Then I start the IELTS class, and then I finish it just before the exam, so I'm not going to fail, right? So you wait until you start the IELTS class. What happens? Most likely you're going to fail, because by the time you finish the class, you realize, actually, I need more time. I need more time to self-study using the materials I've been given. I need more time to self-study right now using the materials, because I know how difficult it is. But guess what? You don't have much time. You wasted all this time waiting, or self-studying by yourself and self-studying wrongly using ineffective methods. So in the end, you have no choice. You only have a few weeks before the exam, not enough time, you fail. So it's better to have a smaller time gap between your last class and the IELTS exam, so you forget less of what you learned in class and therefore perform better in the IELTS exam. That's what people think. I want a smaller time gap, so I won't forget after, in the intervening time period between the class and the exam. Well, folks, that's wrong. Okay, as if you've followed me so far, you want and you need a bigger time gap to study and improve more. After you've taken my classes, your 4 classes, you have 20 plus hours of additional teaching videos, 250 plus pages of notes, 20 to 100 hours of homework. That's how you're going to use that time to improve. Okay, so it's better to have a big time gap to improve. After the class, improve, because that's what you're going to do. You're going to go through all this 250 plus pages of notes, 20 plus hours of videos, 20 to 100 hours of homework. If you do that, you have a better chance of passing. Now guys, don't start your preparation too late, because this is what really happens. If you start too late, you take the exam many times before passing and you waste a lot of money, like you've seen, okay? Or worse still, you can't pass before deadline and you can't immigrate or study overseas. So you left your preparation too late, and this happens a lot of times, okay? I've seen a lot of students delay studying. Why? They're too busy. Then they start studying half a year or 1 year before their immigration deadline, and it's too late. Once they come to the classes, they realize how difficult the IELTS exam is. They realize, oh, they should not have been wasting their time. Or the third result of starting your preparation too late is you become discouraged after many failures and end up giving up your dreams of immigration or studying overseas because you failed so many times. Because you start your preparation too late, then you have to take exam, one after the other, and you don't get time to improve, and you get the same results over and over again. You get discouraged, and you just give up your immigration dreams, your dreams of studying overseas, right? Don't do that. So start your IELTS preparation as soon as you can. There will never be a more perfect time than now. Life always gets in the way and works to delay your start. So start now. Start as soon as possible. Now, for those of you who say, oh, my deadline is around the corner, if you have a deadline that's coming, you just need to take the exam and do your best. Nothing else you can do. You can't delay the deadline. That's out of your control. So what you have to do is start preparing right now, as early as you can. And not only when the deadline is drawing near, okay? Just start right now and put in a lot of effort. That's the best you can do. You can't do anything else, right? Okay, if you can delay your deadline, great, do so. But if you can't, if you only have one chance, then do the best you can. 10, how long does it take for me to get IELTS 7.0? Okay, whether it's 7.0, whether it's 6.0, whether it's 8.0, whatever it may be, whatever is your passing score, it depends on your level now. It depends on how much effort you put in, and it depends on your target score. Your level now to your target score and how much effort you put in. All right. Generally, you need, this is from IELTS 2002 handbook. It says that you need 200 hours to improve by 1 band. All right, 200 hours generally to improve by 1 overall band. But if you don't prepare properly, you spend hours and hours just doing mock tests over and over again, which is the wrong way to improve because you don't improve at all. Then your 200 hours may be a bit higher. If you prepare properly, you use correct strategies, you use good templates. If you come to my classes, you really prepare properly, then it may reduce the number of hours that you need to improve by 1 band. Number 11, can I still contact you after the classes end? And you should know the answer by now. Yes, all my students have my WhatsApp number. You can contact me, and students contact me. They ask me for more work. They ask me different questions, how to register, etc. You have my number, so you can always contact me even after your classes. Number 12, I can't attend your weekend classes. What can I do? Okay, so you're in Singapore, you want to stay home because of the pandemic, you don't want to catch COVID or have a chance of catching COVID, or you're in Singapore, you can't make the timing, on the weekends you don't have time, you're not free Saturday 1 to 5 or Sunday 1 to 5, or you're in another country totally with different time zone, right? So you won't be free when I teach. Well, if you can't attend my face-to-face, you can always get the Zoom live recording or the recorded teachings. If you can't attend it live, then there's always the recorded teachings. All right, so the recorded teachings will be everything that you get all the notes, etc. Every single thing that my face-to-face class students get, you will get. You miss out on nothing. All right. Of course, also you will get everything here. Okay. You will also get the 250 plus pages of materials, the 20 plus hours of additional teachings, the 20 plus to 100 hours of homework material that you can go through. Right, so not a problem if you cannot attend my weekend classes. There are people who always attend the live Zoom, or who cannot even make it Saturday 1 to 5 or Sunday 1 to 5. They purchase the recorded teachings. If you're interested, just WhatsApp me +65 9768 1054. Okay, so these are the frequently asked questions. If you have any question that you want to ask me that I have not covered here, you can also WhatsApp me +65 9768 1054. That's the best and fastest way to reach me. I will most likely respond within 10, 20, half an hour, 1 hour. Okay, very quickly. I will respond to all your questions that you have. All right, if you want to register for my classes, $600, you can also WhatsApp me and I'll give you more information about how you register.